Hello, Year 11, and welcome to your Night Before News for Maths Paper 1 of your November box. This is the higher version of the Night Before News. So, what could be in our exam tomorrow? Well, it's a non-calculated paper, which means we can say some things could be extremely likely. Those things that are extremely likely are going to be those things that are specific non-calculated skills. In particular, your 4 operations, particularly including decimals. This could be, it is more likely to be embedded in other questions, but it could be you get a decimal multiplication or a decimal division maybe. We're going to see fractions. Again, could be any of these operations, could be mixed numbers, could not be mixed numbers, but fractions and decimals, two things that are going to be in paper 1 if they come up, because you don't have a calculator to be able to do them on. Probably going to be some percentages, could see estimation. Index laws are another one that are probably going to come up non-calculator rather than calculator. So make sure you're thinking about your fractional powers, your negative powers. What do those mean if they're in your power? Could see some algebra. Hard to narrow down what algebra we're going to see, but lots of different things that you could see. And in particular, forming and solving comes up in paper 1 more often than paper 2 and 3. Could be some ratio, and again, that could be a question that involves ratio, percentages and fractions together. Could be a ratio question by itself. Surds, again, are another non-calculated topic, as are exact trigonometric values. So these things are extremely likely. Some of these, your fractions and decimals, your index laws and your surds, always going to be non-calculator, so highly likely to be in paper 1. Some of these other ones could come up in other papers, but more often come up in non-calculator. Of course, there are other topics that could come up. So also topics which could be likely are all of these. Algebraic fractions, simultaneous equations, and so on. Could be non-calculator. They could be in paper 2 or 3. We don't know, but they do come up in paper 1. They do come up in non-calculated paper, so it'd be worth looking at. Could also see some of these topics as well, but the key thing is here, there's many more, so it's really hard to say what's going to be in paper 1. The key thing, go back to the last slide, which of those extremely likely topics are the ones that are going to be paper 1? Fractions and decimals, surds, indices. If you know one of those you're not strong on, that's what I'd suggest revising. Otherwise, if you revise some of these things on this slide, they might not come up in paper 1. They could be in paper 2 or paper 3, but there's no guarantee where they're going to come up. If you're going to do some revision this evening, what could you do? Well, if you want to look at specific topics, there are a number of places you could go. You could go to Sparks, and if you go to Sparks, you can choose independent learning at the bottom. You're brought up to the page and you can search for a topic. Make sure you choose GCSE. So here, paper 1, it could be you're looking at surds, and some of these things might be what you want to revise. If you also want to look at topics, you can look at a website called ExamQ. This has lots of different questions that have come up in exams. Make sure you set this box to higher. Make sure you set this box to paper 1. And then you can search in this box. It could be you want to see all the indices questions that have come up. So you might search for indices here. It could be you don't know what topic you want to specifically revise. You don't put anything in this third box, but you just look at all the non-calculated questions which have come up previously, so you can get a flavour of the kind of thing you might see. That might then guide your revision if there's something that comes up you're not sure how to do. ExamQ is really good because you don't just get a question, you can also see the mark scheme to see exactly what it is the examiners are looking for. The third place you could go is another website called Maths Genie. On Maths Genie, you choose a GCSE revision here or here, and it will bring you up with a whole page full of different topics with repeated practice available. ExamQ is great, but you only get one version of the question. On Maths Genie, you can get lots of different versions of the same topic that are going to help you practice that. A similar website to this is something called Corbett Maths. And again, if you go to Corbett and you choose videos and worksheets, you'll be brought up with a page that looks like this. For lots of different topics, there are videos you can watch, there are practice questions, and there are textbook exercises. I would suggest you're looking at the practice questions. So again, you can see surds here. Could be you want to do some practice on rationalising denominators. Corbett Maths will provide you with lots of chances to practice that skill again and again and again. One final place you could go is somewhere called First Class Maths. So another website, go to revision and choose Edexcel GCSE. And again, this will give you a page full of exam questions and solutions, and you can see how likely they are to come up. If you're going, I don't know which specific topics I want to revise, but I want to look at a paper. I want to see what kind of thing I'm going to see tomorrow. Again, there are places you can go for this. Maths Genie is a really good place to do so. Make sure at the top you choose GCSE papers and you choose Edexcel, and that will bring up lots of different papers for you to practice. And if you've done those practice papers, you can then think about what's going to happen tomorrow morning. Well, the hub will be open from 7 AM. There'll be maths teachers down there for you to come and get help with things if you're stuck. And the key thing about this is bring some questions you haven't been able to answer. You can pick up maybe another 4 or 5 marks in the morning of the exam if you come prepared with something you haven't been able to do the night before. If you do get stuck on something the night before, it is so important you learn how to do that. Don't sit in that exam thinking, I wish I'd gone and got help with this question because I did one like this last night. Bring something you don't know how to answer and ask for help. Could be worth 2 marks, could be worth 4 marks. Can you pick those up the morning of the exam? There will then be revision in the gym. All the higher students will go into the gym and there'll be a mat in front of you that looks like this. Please don't use this time to just sit there and have a chit chat. Don't talk to your friends. Pick up one of these revision mats. Find some questions you don't know how to do and ask a teacher who is walking around. It feels great the morning of an exam, coming in just doing loads of questions again and again and again that you know how to do, but that's not going to help you pick up those extra marks that could be the difference between a grade 5 and a grade 6, a grade 6 and a grade 7, a grade 8 and a grade 9. Find something you don't know how to do, and ask for help from a teacher to make sure you're as prepared for that as you can be. Final thing to say, whatever it is you choose to do for revision tonight, good luck in that exam tomorrow. Make sure you come in tomorrow morning with some questions you don't know how to do so you can smash this first exam.